Hi friends, welcome to another Let's Talk video. This episode will be more of a let me ask you 100 million questions, whereas I'm also going to be speaking of my own answers and my own opinions, if that. And feel free to watch the Dead Space 3 demo that I have featured right here. I hope no one takes it down because I got it early, signing up to stupid Origin. Oh wait, I mean signing up to wonderful Origin. And maybe if there's enough time after this video, I'll discuss my thoughts on this Dead Space 3 demo. Or you'll have to wait for either 5 more days, or get it now if you have a code for it. So let's begin. This video will be basically about where the game industry is going and where YouTube game videos are going. After you've answered that question, now I want to talk about consoles. You know, everyone's saying the Xbox 720, the Durango, whatever it's called. Oh yeah, that's going to do much for anything. PS4. The next, well, not the next Wii, but you know what I mean by that. Next anything. Well, I feel as though we're not going to get any consoles in the near future. I honestly, 2000 next year, no. The year after, doubt it. The year after that will probably be VR, unless it's the typical thing of the system looking different and the controllers looking different and the online capabilities changing, getting better usually. And then, of course, the graphics getting slightly better, but that has its limits too, you know. And essentially, what's next after VR with the virtual reality? Nothing, except becoming God. So, I mean, if you really want to rush games that fast, be my guest. I just won't be one that'll do it. And just think about it. You could say that, oh, we'll do something like The Matrix, where we will somehow, you know, live for, well, technically, I'm going to say live forever, but that's like becoming God. But like I said, that's not going to be possible. I don't believe that's not going to be possible. And then, like I said, The Matrix is just a very, very, very high-end VR type thing. So then that'll lead me to my next point. How are we going to, how are we going to integrate VR into PCs? If we can have, you know, then that brings me to this, like the war between PC and console will really be waged within the next years, because I don't know how a PC is going to be able to run both its regular functions and be a VR, you know, run a VR type system. Same with consoles. You're going to have consoles that are dedicated to VR, not only for video games, but just for other kind of experiences, whether it be, now this would be cool, like reliving your dream. Now, wouldn't that be interesting? Being able to relive your dreams in a virtual reality system. Like, oh man, that'd be awesome. Well, on a side note here, I'll talk about that for a minute. That would be like, you go to sleep, right? And, you know, you'd be wearing the VR system, and it would literally, like, it would record everything that you dreamt about, and then you could relive that dream. That's pretty crazy. Anyway, like I was saying, the VR consoles, like, we're going to have PCs with VR, which would be horrendously expensive, because you'd have 2 different, like, operating systems, I guess you could say. Yeah, well, maybe you could do a PC VR where you could, you know, type up your documents and whatnot. I guess that makes sense. And then, again, that leads me to saying, what's going to exist? What's going to cease to exist? Will PCs lose their existence, or will consoles lose their existence? You know, whether we like it or not, they're going to meld into one thing. And I think game companies know that, so they're going to let their systems run as long as they can, so they break down and you just keep buying more and more as they get more money. Although I do agree with something new, but I don't know what it would be that our current consoles already can do. So I'm really at a loss for words, and I'm very sure anyone else really thinking about this would also be short for words. And I still believe that plenty of games are adding new and refreshing content to be entertaining. I mean, a lot of games we're familiar with. Unfortunately, games like Call of Duty and even Battlefield haven't done a whole lot to change how they are. And unfortunately, I feel like games like that will become more of sports types games, where they're not really dedicated the hardcore games at all. They're more like, oh, instead of playing basketball, I'm going to play some Call of Duty. where it's a sport. There's no need to change it. You know, it's just they're just coming out with building a new basketball court or new hoops or a new ball or new jerseys or whatever. That's really what a game like Call of Duty is. And it's the truth. It's not a bad thing. It's not necessarily a great thing for people who want something new. But then a game like Dishonored, where unfortunately I have not played, I'm very sorry for doing that, but I've heard that it's definitely a refreshing new game, definitely new look, style, and everything else. And I go same thing with a game like Skyrim. A game like Skyrim in the Elder Scrolls series is definitely a game series that can improve over time, definitely. And I feel like that could be a type of game that'll just keep going, and it'll be better and better every time. You know, I won't be bored, and you won't be bored of it as much. But I still feel, especially the indie games too. You have a ton of people doing indie games, and you know you're gonna hit something hit a hammer on the head just eventually. So I feel like we're fine. People are complaining now, but you know what? I feel like we're fine, and we should wait a little while until they perfect VR a little more. I was watching a video, can't remember the name of the channel. I believe it was Revision 3 Gaming, that's what it was. And they're at the CES, and they're talking about the virtual head tracking thing. That's cool and all, but it's only to stick on your face, like putting the screen 2 feet in front of you, which can't be really good for your eyes, but, you know, I'm not complaining on that. Same thing with that NVIDIA streaming game controller screen thing. That really I don't feel like it's doing much. You know, you can stream it from your home PC to somewhere else in your house, but what's the point of that? You know, I feel like just playing your own PC. Unless you like breaking your neck and looking down for hours and hours on end, then go right ahead. Enough of that little rant, I guess, but let's just keep moving on here. And I hope that you know all the multiplayer games that are just tacked on multiplayer. For example, I have Far Cry 3. I bought the game because I thought it was really good after I rented it and reviewed it. I played multiplayer. One multiplayer game. Maybe I didn't give it enough chance, but I swear, one multiplayer game, nothing. It was just boring. It was just like, wow, this is different looking, but it's just like, why? The game could have been longer. I mean, the game's long enough as it is, but come on, it could have been a lot longer. Whereas a game like Mass Effect 3 is like, when I first thought of it, I'm like, oh crap, they got multiplayer in this game. Great, so they shortened this game up a lot. Although I don't think it's as long as the second one, although I'm trying to play through the second one. Yes, I know, I haven't played the second one yet, so don't give me that. But I feel that game was actually fun multiplayer, and I feel like going back on it now. But I felt like it was really a good one. I mean, you really feel like you're working together, a team. Of course, you're getting people who are kind of dumb, and that's everything. That's every multiplayer game. But if we have more, the same thing with the game Journey. If we have more like cool multiplayer type things that are just out there and bizarre and cool, and more cooperative, then like multiplayer's not tacked on anymore. It's more people, but you're not yelling and screaming at the game because either it's just bad, slowly, you know, it wasn't developed as good. I should say fast development, not slow development. Fast development, it wasn't fun enough, and it just doesn't feel like your all your main typical multiplayer shooting games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Halo, not as polished as something like that. Another thing I want, and we're moving on to the next part of the video, which is the YouTube game videos. There was, for as long as I can remember, there was always a trend. There's been at least 4, 5, or 6 trends, and I'm gonna go over what I think they were. So starting when YouTube first came out, you know, we have the first video. Was it at the zoo or something? Then I think like the first gaming videos, they had to have been. I'm trying to think because back in 2006 they had, you know, we all know the angry video game nerd, right, and the irate gamer. They were two people. They were like among the first people to be funny with like the games. Wow, I sound like an old person. With the games, they were being funny with the games. No, of course, they were very nostalgic type games that they were doing, but they were actually trying to make humor out of video games. So we'll go with that. We'll say like humor with video games just starting out. And then we go into the other humor of the video games, doing machinima, which is like in 2007, like right when Halo 3 came out, because they had the theater mode, and then of course Red versus Blue was already established back then, so they created the whole, they started the whole machinima. Rooster Teeth started all the machinima stuff, got that popular, and then Halo 3 just, of course, accelerated that. So then after that, then we're in like 2007, 2008, 2009, and then we get Modern Warfare 2 that comes out. And then you got the throwing knife, the random throwing knife videos, the quick scoping videos, and then of course the infamous nuke videos. So then that lasted for at least lasted actually a good 2 years. And then in 2011, we still have the Call of Duty videos. In fact, we see more of a surge of, in Modern Warfare 2 came out, we saw more of a surge of people just doing really well and doing cool, like trick shots and throwing knives, kills, and crazy stuff like that. And then when 2011 came around, right when Black Ops was out, and then Modern Warfare 3 came out, I know, I sound like a Call of Duty fanboy, but let me be honest with you. I was playing Black Ops 2 multiplayer, and I don't feel it anymore. So that's my opinion. It's the last Call of Duty I'll ever buy, but I'm going over these trends. So mind your opinions. They were out there here and there, and they're still out there. And so this is YouTube history, so you're stuck with it forever no matter what. We had the skill videos like T Martin, and unfortunately that I kind of blame those people for me not liking Call of Duty, because they made everyone use the overpowered guns or the more unfair tactics instead of just having fun running out and shooting people like you're supposed to. Or like I say, like they were initially starting. Granted, there were some people like Guns for Hire who did more of strategy videos. I'm sorry about this. You can tell in my earliest videos, it's not so great. I'm sorry, I'm tracking all over the place. So anyway, I was at Modern Warfare 3 strategies, and then Minecraft. Minecraft and Modern Warfare 3 were trending around the same time. And then I'd say now, obviously, we can tell it's Let's Players who are the most popular of the two, of the few out there, the few trends that have started over the past years. And I will say, back when it wasn't trendy, back when it was starting to trend, I should say, I did like watching them, like Let's Play videos and stuff. But let's face it, I really kind of getting sick of them now. Unless you have some information to give while playing a game, something very interesting to talk about and to think about while playing your game, I don't want to watch you play a game. Okay, just experience your own kind of game. And I've sort of realized that when I was doing my own experience videos. So that's why I'm not going to do them anymore. Unless somehow they explode in popularity, something stupid like that. I mean, hey, if it's really popular, then I'll do it. I was just trying to get going on here. So then the next thing I wanted to go over is, and now I become a beggar. What should I do? What kind of game videos should I be doing? I'm just putting this out there because, maybe there's something that is starting to trend. Maybe there's something that's very, I'm on the outskirts of YouTube. In fact, I'm probably not even in the general vicinity. I'm like in the desert, sort of, right before the whole like town be like a nuke town, because then you get, you go in the middle, you're in that viral video and it blows up like a nuke, kind of. And whatever. Something like that. I'm like in the desert kind of area. And there are people who walk around. Yeah, there's like 2 people, 3 people who look at my stuff. Like, oh, that's cool. And that's basically it. I'm trying to get in, in the town. I'm just gonna see if I can get my passport in the town. But so I'm trying to find things I want to do, because that'd be pretty cool if I could do this as a job. I only have 25 subscribers. I have at least 1,000 times more to go before I can even legitimately get a partnership. Now I'll go on to what I am going to do next. There was this YouTuber, and I'm going to mention him again. This is Guns for Hire. And he ran a channel called The Gun Shop. And unfortunately, he recently took down most of his videos and is starting over. Now, the thing that he did was he took articles and read them. They were normally about really anything, but I'm going to do video games. But he took articles and read about them. but then he felt like he wasn't being himself when he was talking about him. So I feel like I'm gonna be here to. I want to take up that, walk in those footsteps, but a little quicker. I don't want to be using a whole lot of time for it. So I'm planning on at least once a week. Maybe it'll be on Fridays. I'll take 3 articles and I'll just do a video about them and talking about each of them. I'll just give a brief overview of it, and I will give my quick opinion about it, and then I'll link them in the descriptions, of course. And that's basically all I'm planning on doing. That, and my game reviews, and these random Let's Talk videos. So, and I just want to know what you all think about the video game industry in general, the YouTube video games, you know, the industry of YouTube video games, I should say. What do you all think about it? I mean, what do you think about the Let's Plays? What do you think about the funny reviews? What do you think about the serious reviews? What do you think about the strategy videos? And what do you think about What Are You Thinking? After giving yourself a headache thinking about that, I will give you my Dead Space 3 demo review. I really like how it felt exactly the same as the other Dead Space games, and I really like the concept of the weapon crafting, but there is a couple things that have gotten me a little worried about. Some of the weapon crafting you can use, you can add different power nodes to your weapons to give it more ammo or faster fire rate, higher damage, quicker reload, and so forth. It's unfortunate though that there are so many things to choose from. I feel like are they gonna go away when you're using them a lot? Because I wouldn't have to keep going back to a weapon station, keep adding them or removing them and whatnot. This also adds to the amount of loot in the game, which is now starting to seem like a game like Borderlands, where there's loot everywhere, and that's a little worrisome. As you'll see after this part, during this clip actually, there's about at least like 50 like things to pick up, and it's really ridiculous. Basically, those are the only 2 things that are bugging me right now. That and this game does feel almost too much like the other 2 games, but it still feels a little better, especially with the environment. I like the environment, and the weapon crafting is definitely helping. Haven't played co-op yet, but I will be meaning to try that. And I'm also the one thing that did bug me before, that sort of still bugs me, is the fact that you're shooting regular people, but you could just let them get killed by the necromorphs, let them fight each other, and then get the necromorphs. Then it'll feel a little more natural. But other than that, it's definitely a fun demo, really quick demo. Of course, all demos are really fast. It's obviously not worth judging a whole game over just a small little demo, but it's still fun. You should definitely check it out when it's released, or when you sign up for Origin if you want to. Dead Space 3 releases on February 5th. So that's basically it. And if you enjoyed, like and favorite and comment, like I said, please, before, and subscribe for more videos that may or may not be like this one. See you later, friends.